Here at Ngosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today, I have Kamau Emma. How are you, Kamau?
Hi, Anomsa. All is well here. How about you?
Good, thank you.
Lovely.
So our topic today is breaking free, embrace your superior life, let false friends fade away or let them go. So welcome to Ngosi Talk Shows. In this powering video, we entitle Breaking Free, Embrace Your Superior Life, Let False Friends Go or Fade Away. We invite you to embark on our journey to self-discovery and personal growth. Life is too short to force friends that can hinder your path to greatness. It's time to break free from their negative influence and embrace the superior life you actually deserve. So what do you think about this topic, Kamau?
I think it's quite an interesting topic. We all go through life with a certain amount of friends, especially when we're growing up and in our teenagers. We are more focused with being liked and being included with everyone. And slowly, we start to figure out who we are and what kind of people we want to be around. Nonetheless, it might take us some time to realize who our true friends are, who are the people that we want to keep within our reach, and to that final destination where you can connect and what I call your tribe. And these are mostly the ones that you're looking for. Some of us are fortunate enough to figure out their tribe very early on, and they stick with those friends. Those are usually the closest friends that you have, and where you can support each other, where you help each other, where you are proud of each other's achievements. And others are in the premise, and some people, even those best friends that we make when we're teenagers and a little bit older, sometimes they fade away, and we realize why they're fading away. There are multiple reasons for that. So very interesting topic you're bringing up to the table today.
I love that, Kamal, because I love this topic because like when you're saying that some people, they actually get a chance to actually to realize their path, where they are meant to go by choosing friends. But some people, they do struggle to actually let go of false friends, because when you have false friends, you can't move forward with life. They will enter your life and they will take advantage of you, and they will enter your life and tell you what you can or what you can't do. And those things can actually hinder your true path, where you are meant to go. We all have our destinies, and our destinies, like mine and your destiny as Kamau, is different. So for me, it's like we work together here at Ngosi Talk Shows. If I see, like, if I'm a really good friend to you, and if I see that you are really talented, or you say, Nomsa, I want to try this, my job is to celebrate you and say, you know what, go for it. And let's see how is it going to lead you? Because if you don't try new things, and your friends tell you that no, you're not enough, you're never going to get to where you need to go, because they're always going to hinder you. They're always going to have something to say. The voices, because words are so powerful, words that can actually stop you moving forward, because those words, they will play in your part. So how do you, because the topic says break free, embrace your superior life, and let go of false friends. How do you actually embrace your superior life? Come out. If somebody is watching right now, the audience might say, it's easy said and done, but if you had met this friend of mine, you would not be saying that.
How do we embrace your superior life? Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting perspective, embracing your superior life can be defined in several ways. And excuse me, as I previously said, we all define our world and our words in very specific ways. To me, embracing your superior life is seeking or actually understanding your purpose on this planet. Why do you exist? What is the meaning of your birth? Another part of it is purpose can be applied to friendship. If you are going through life with your own life purpose, with your own motto, and the friends that you have, or the so-called friends that you have, they don't have they don't fit within that motto, then they're probably not the right kind of friends that you want. I'll give you an example. I've had many friends. I've always had a very close knit of friends, a group of 7 boys. We grew up together and we're very close. Some of them are in Egypt, some of them are in other countries. However, there's always this reoccurrence of 1 or 2 friends of those groups that pop up into my life every month or so, that we ask after each other, that we call each other, that we discuss things together. We support each other. And those are the friendships that last. And these people are usually the ones that are within the frame of my life purpose motto. And it doesn't mean that I'm letting go of my other friends, that I've ignored them, or that I don't miss them. Of course I miss them. But I realize that some of them are friends of fun. I also have friends that are friends of academia. I have friends of, let's put it this way, growth. And depending on your life purpose motto or your protocol in life, you get to choose and decide which ones of those groups you want to keep closer to you or you want to avoid. Now, it's not that easy. You might be doing something that fulfills you and brings you joy and passion in your life. And by doing that, it might contradict other people's opinions. But are you doing it for being liked, or are you doing it for your own purpose and your own meaning in life? If you're doing it for your own meaning in life, then trust me, these friends, they're not worth it. Maybe they're worth it when you can define them put them in a different category, the category of leisure friends, so that you enjoy your time when you're with them, so that there is no prejudice, no judgment from your end, at least. So back to the main point, embracing your life, full potential, you're embracing living with the truth that not everybody in your friend circle is a true friend. A true friend is only defined by how you want to define it. To me, a true friend is a person that supports me in my darkest hours, supports me in my success, supports me along the road that might be bumpy and harsh, and says, you're doing it the way that you want to. Great job. Continue. I'm here for you. You want to talk? You need a sounding board? I'm here for you. That to me is the friends that I want in my life. Again, it doesn't mean that the others, I don't want them in my life. I can have them in my life, but they don't fulfill the requirement of being the tribe that I want to stick with, the tribe that connects me to my purpose. So you just separate from having a big bunch of friends like this. You just start separating and putting them in different groups. They're still going to be in that circle, bigger circle of friends, because you grew up together, because you know them, because you've spoken with each other for a long period of times. But they'll be in different categories of your life. Yeah, that's my explanation so far. I think I summed your question up in a longer version, I guess, as I always do.
I love that, Kamal, when you say a true friend can be defined in different ways. And also you mentioned that if your friend don't fit in with your life purpose, your motto, and or any sometimes life things will not work when it comes to life, because whatever your life purpose is, your friends, they have to fit in with that. Meaning they have to be there to support you. They don't necessarily have to help you. That's why we have our own coaches. But just for them being there and not telling you what your dreams are not big enough or your dreams are too small, just there supporting you and just letting you know that, come on, I'm here if you need me. Like my friends, I don't tell them what to do. All I do is when they tell me a problem, I listen, and then I ask them, what part do you want me to play? And then they'll tell me how they want me to support them. But if they are going the other side, because sometimes friends will call you and they are arguing with somebody else, and they're like, and I'm like, just choose your chains, or choose the battles that you, in that part, I just have to say one word: choose your battles. Some battles are not for everybody, so just choose them. Maybe it will help if you just choose. But there are sometimes friends that, like you were saying, that we define friends in so many ways. For me, when I'm looking for professional advice, I have coaches. And if I'm looking for like advice of a customer, I speak to my friends, because I know they are sitting on the other end. They can play that part of a customer, so I know that they will tell me what they think, and then I'll ask other people as well what they think. So I'll ask them together and see different opinions and stuff. So then I use that to improve my products. But when it comes to decision, if I really, really have to make a really, really serious decisions, my friend's opinion comes last, because it's when I have to go and pray, I have to connect with God, or I have to speak to a coach, and just for me to go to the right direction. But when you hear me sitting down with my friends or family members, it means I have gone through that pain of fear, and I've gone through that breakthrough of, okay, acceptance of whatever decision that I want to make. And then I come and share it with my friends. By the time Martin and the kids, they start saying, oh, mommy, you can't do this. I'm like, I've done it. It's done. And I ask you guys, you guys didn't reply to me anyway. So I was asking, I put a message regarding my book cover, and come out no reply. Can you imagine, guys?
I didn't reply, or I did reply in my head, and then I read somebody replied, and then I think I replied in my head, but then I didn't actually text the message.
Only Carol Anna replied. I do that sometimes. If I read a message, I actually in my head, I'm replying. If in my head it says I've replied, it means I'm never gonna remember, because in my head I'm thinking I've already done it. So I just have to do it straight away.
Yeah. Now I know what happened. Carol Ann said the first one, because you had 3 different pictures. Carol Ann said the first one, and I said, yeah, I agree with Carol Ann. It's the first one. But then I forgot to say I agree with Carol Ann.
So yeah, so I always do that sometimes, but he didn't reply, guys. So I'm holding accountable for that. Yeah, so it's very, very important to actually embrace the life when you're making decisions, when come to decisions, comes to life, when it comes to friends, in order to transform your life. And also you have to understand that those friends, that sometimes people, the way they react is how they are feeling inside. So some people will spend so much time in trying to actually convince someone to actually be on their side. But if that person that's what they are feeling inside, they are never ever going to be on your side. So it is good to actually break free from the chains that are holding you back and embrace life authentically and authenticity and the fulfillment of it. And when I'm saying break free, it means if a friend's life is messed up, I call it messed up. If somebody's life is messed up, there are times where I tell God that, God, right now, my life is not going well, so help me. So if somebody else, they actually need that breakthrough for themselves, but then they are clouded with a dark cloud. And imagine you trying to convince them, you who has the light, trying to convince them to see your light. Imagine how that would do. They won't see the light that you see, because when you come out of that dark cloud of not knowing anything about personal development and not speaking, not finding your voice, and now you find your own voice, and somebody's still struggling to find their own voice, and then you try to convince them to actually align with where you're going. Imagine that you're gonna keep convincing and convincing. So the best way is to break free and leave people behind. And I find when you leave people behind without falling out with them, they always catch up with you. And because they realize, actually, Kamal is not the person that I thought was. So I need to find out what Kamal does different that makes him the person that he is becoming. So friends will always recognize your journey. If your journey is for the right reason, they'll always recognize it. So it's very, very important to actually walk your path. Walk with friends that wants to walk with you. Some people, they get jealous. And then when they get jealous, they sell you out for some pieces of gold, like Judas sold Jesus. So it's not that they want to sell you out. It's just jealousy. When I was doing this personal development, the first thing Paul McKenna does when you enter into this journey of personal development, first he says, get rid of jealousy. Because the jealousy will hinder your path. You will see your friends succeed. Will you be able to celebrate them while you say you want to go through personal development? So get rid of jealousy. You need to work on your jealousy, work on your inner being. So that was the first module that I had to work on, jealousy. And then after jealousy, accepting myself for who I am. And then after acceptance, now I have to speak the truth. I get rid of the lies that I've been telling myself for years, all these years. Then I had to get rid of that. So it goes step by step, step by step. So Kamal, if somebody right now is watching the actually talk show, and how do they discover their inner strength? Because your inner strength is the one that helps you to actually make the right decisions without fear. Inner strength is connecting with your inner child, and that inner child that has no fear helps you to become the person that you want to become. So how do you discover that inner strength?
Okay, so there's one thing first. I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, you are allowed to disagree.
On having no fear. I say, be afraid, do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just ripping off the words of my mentor, Steve McVeigh, and he's the one that taught me that, and it was a beautiful. He actually used to tell us a story when he was coaching and teaching us. It's a story of a mother and a girl at the pool, and the girl is about 8 years old, and the mom was in the pool, and then there's the jumping board, right? And so the girl says, I want to go and jump. She goes, oh, okay, go ahead. And the girl goes all the way up and she sees one child jump and then another and then the third. And then she goes to the edge and she looks at us like, this is so scary, Mom, I'm very scared. Well, jump. Yeah, but I'm afraid. And the mom says, well, be afraid. It's okay. Be afraid. Do it anyway. And so the girl jumps and, oh, it was amazing. And so she went and did it again. So the moral of the story is, yes, be afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but do things either way. If you don't do things, then you won't know what the results are. Remember, Edison, even though he's a thief, did the experiment on the light bulb over 1,000 times. Over 1,000 times. And when asked why did he not stop after so many failures, he changed it into a positive and he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned how to not make a light bulb 1,000 different ways, right? That didn't stop him. So fear is there for a reason, because either we inherited from our parents genetically, fear is inherited, as well as traumas. So all of that is there, or you're just scared of the unknown. Now, being scared of the unknown, that is very normal for us as human beings. What do you want to do with it? Either you stay in your cocoon or you get out and explore and see what happens. Nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing bad ever happens, to put it this way. I've said it multiple times and I'm going to say it a million more times on every time I come on and people are listening. There is nothing bad in life that happens. You decide whether it's bad or not. You decide if the event is causing you misfortune or fortune. Now, I decided at some point to believe that anything that is happening in my life is for the better of my future, is I'm fortunate to going through these events, as harsh as they may be, as difficult as they may sound. And these events are the ones that cause me to look into myself and understand my inner strength. I've had my inner strength since I was a teenager, but I didn't realize how to manage them and how to use them to my advantage. Now, I used to be a nerd at school, and I used to be an A student until some point where I decided, you know what, the average is very low. I don't need to study that much to pass. And I still passed. There was no problem, right? So why would I have to study more when I can just pass and I do the bare minimum? Okay. Then came a time in life where I changed schools and I was going through a rough time because I had my wisdom teeth growing at the same time, both of them on the top. I only had two growing, and I have a small jaw, contrary to one's belief that I have a big mouth and I talk a lot. So, you'd imagine, like, I speak so much and I talk so much, I would have had, like, I'd have a big mouth and a big jaw, but no, my jaw is too small. So my wisdom teeth were pushing onto my other teeth. So I couldn't sleep. I was having constant headaches. I went to all of the doctors possible. I was around 17, 18, right? And there was nothing until I had to go to do my annual checkup with my dentist. And then he realized that, okay, well, your wisdom teeth are pushing in and this is what's causing you bad headaches because your jaw is too small. So took them out. And so it was the end of the year and my grades had really, really plummeted because now I was in a new school and I was doing it very, very well again. And so came the last year of school and I had to bring my grades up again. And that's senior high, right? And so I was at that time practicing several martial arts. I was practicing judo, karate, tai chi, and kickboxing. And so it was taking a lot of my time, plus my studies. And usually I would go out with my friends, the group of friends that I've known now for 30 years, right? And wow, 30 years. It was so weird to say that. And so we would go out on Thursdays and Fridays, but I had to study, or I wanted to study, and I wanted to pay attention to my martial arts so that I have a physical and mental stability. And so I gathered my friends And I'm not telling you to do it this way, because this was the harshest way possible to do something like that. I'm telling you what I did to dig into myself when I was 18. I gathered my friends and I told them, hey, you know what? I'm doing all these sports because it's maintaining me in physical condition, and as well, I need to study and I have to get these grades. So I can only see you guys for a couple of hours per week. Now, I didn't say it this way. I said, guys, I've got so much on my plate right now. I've only got 2 hours for you per week. And this was a shot in their heads. It was a killer for my friends. You're like, how dare you be so arrogant and say that you allow us 2 hours of your time, right? And so for about 6-7 months, they completely cut off from me. But I didn't care, because I was focused on one single thing, or two things: my studies and my my martial arts. These were my main focus. And for 6-7 months, I left them and I finished school and I got good grades again. And then the summer came and we all have this gathering place where we gather. It's like a sports club. And it's summertime. So what do? I go to the pool and we sit there and we have a few lemonades and go and play football. So I would go to the pool and I would still see my friends over there. And then slowly, they started coming, hey, you're here, what's up? And all of that. And we started connecting again. And slowly, we connected through friends. And I was still their best friend. So what does this teach us or teach me? It taught me that I can focus on what I want. I can focus on my strengths of studying, of martial arts, and whatever it is that I want in life. But there are always sacrifices. So if you want to sacrifice your well-being for friendship, it's up to you. If you want to sacrifice your intellectual level of academia, for instance, contra having close friends and going out and partying, it's up to you. And this applies to any age, right? What you will focus on, that is where you will put the energy. Somebody else said that. I don't know who it is, but anyway, I'm paraphrasing here, so it's not stealing. What you want in life, that is what's most important. Your strengths are there. You know them. Ask yourself, what are you good at? Ask yourself, what can you do with those skills that you have and your capabilities? Where do you want to see yourself? How can you move forward from the place that you are to reach that target that you want or that goal that you want in life? These are all questions that when you sit with yourself, meditate on them, reflect a little bit. And I'm not telling you sit down for a whole 30 minutes or 40 minutes and meditate. No, wake up a little bit early. Wake up 15-20 minutes earlier than you usually do. Prepare your coffee or your tea or your drink or whatever it is. Sit down and ask yourself that. While you're drinking your coffee, what am I doing with my life right now? What do I want to do with it later? Where do I want to be? How do I want it to look like? There are so many questions in so many books of self-help and coaches and speakers that talk about the same things, but I had to do that. This is what I have been through many times in my life, just recently, about 4 or 5 years ago. And these are the questions that I started asking myself that helped me realize, wait, I'm a training specialist. I train in companies and I'm used to going live and talking to people and standing on stage, and I don't have any issues with that. I'm good at that. I know I am, because I think I trained over 400, 500 employees during my lifetime as a trainer. So, and the results are good. So I'm good at that. How can I use that to my benefit? Wait, about 20 years ago, I heard about something called NLP. I started digging into it and I started learning about it. And then I took my courses. And because I was interested, I completely focused on stuff. And bit by bit, I realized, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to help people manage their life. I want to help people get out of the norms of society, get out of those chains that you call them, sir, that are holding them back from exploring their life the way that they want to live it. And so how can I do that? And then I started my business, and I started coaching, and I started more certificates. And then just last year, I said, you know what, this is not enough for me. I want to add more to that. I want to add depth to it. And so I took a master's in psychology, and I finished it. And that master's now, with whatever I have learned, I have included and incorporated it into my coaching, into my program. Why? Because I know it will benefit people. These are my strengths. And Lego as well, as you can see. So you use what you have. The only way to use those strengths and capabilities and abilities is to ask yourself, what do you want to do with them? How can they benefit you? How can you benefit the world? Yeah, I mean, this is how I would go by. This is what I've done. Nomsa? You're muted, Nomsa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. I actually love it, the way you say your friends, you were busy studying, and also martial arts is the business that pays the bill for you and your children, and just working on it. And your friends, they didn't accept the time that you were giving them, but then slowly they fade away. They just decided, you know what, we're just gonna fade away. But if they were really understanding, they would have understood that this person is studying.
Yeah, but who's understanding when they're teenagers?
Yeah. Yeah, it does happen like that. I always say to my daughter, the people that you call friends, I always say to her, now that they're all growing up, they're 16, I always say never make a decision based on your other friends that same age as you, because when you're 21, that's when you actually realize who your friend is, and they'll stick with you. Because as you're growing up, you realize that when you make decisions and it comes to life, you got to make a decision based on you. Because like in this country, I don't know what it is, but here in the United Kingdom, when you talk about children, they're like, oh, me, I can't transfer my child to a school because they've got friends in this school. They really made good friends. I'm thinking, but they can still you can still maintain that relationship. If a child's destiny is meant to be on the other side, you can still maintain it. Because I see my daughter, her friends move away from the school. They went to a different school, but we still maintain that relationship as parents. So I'm like, you can still maintain your child. They don't have to be in the same school or do the same activities. But people do that anyway. Me, I've got friends who have literally dumped me and said, you know, sir, I don't think, because my life is so busy. I do have time for friends. I do call them and I do check and see if they need me. When I'm off, I actually visit my friends. And those are the things that I do, but I can't be with a friend 24/7 going for coffee all the time. I can't do that because I need to focus on life. There's some loads of things that I need to focus on. So sometimes some friends don't like it. They like to meet up every day for coffee, maybe 20 minutes. And when you say you're busy, they don't like it. So I've been dumped so many times. Even yesterday, I got dumped by another coach. That was a Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. And what happens, because this coach, she does a business and a little bit of, I wasn't sure. You know, Kamal, it's like you are a life purpose coach. But there are some people that will call themselves a life purpose coach just by watching somebody else's video, or they don't have experience. But for me, my Hope Springs Eternally is for strictly relationship, and I do some things. If people, maybe sometimes they want a business coach or they don't, but there are some people, business coach, that they will adapt and do relationship coaching as well. But dating is very, very complicated. So for me, what I see for my clients, when a client comes in, they need coaching, I can either have to appoint them with somebody qualified, a psychologist who is qualified, who understand how to deal with the mind, or specific somebody who is trained, a dating coach. So that's what I did, but I've never picked her to actually coach my clients, because no one has ever requested it. Or sometimes people, I tell them I have this coach and they'll be like, I want to be coached by you. And sometimes you can't argue with somebody because it is the trust. When somebody is able to tell you their secret and you listen, sometimes they are able to say, okay, I can trust this person. So then that's when I don't want to be coached by anybody. I want to be coached by you. So I don't have control in that, or they will just go on the website and read somebody's bio. And by the time they get to you, they've read their social media, they've read everything about that person. So they make a decision to say, I want this person to coach me. So I don't have a control. So she dumped me yesterday and said, I don't think this relationship is working. But she dumped him at the wrong time, because I actually, on the website before, I didn't have a specific the part for coaching, but now I just want to give everybody the chance. Like sometimes people don't want dating, they just want coaching. So I've put that. So I was like, oh, she's going at the wrong time. But I didn't argue with her. I just felt that she has a right to think what she thinks. And I just said, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I'm going through so much. My website has not been up. And my email, honestly, my email has been going on for 2 hours. It comes in for 2 hours and then it disappears. But yesterday I've managed to see the problem, because the guy is building the website and is interfering the domain of my business email. And when he's trying to point, I don't know what he's doing, DNS, code DNS, you know more about designing. So he's interfering. So the designer is arguing with the people from my domain email address and my domain website. And the people from my domain website, they're all arguing. So I'm reading the emails. So I decided I don't understand this language. So I decided to, when this one is telling me is morning, so I decided to send the email to the web designer. And then the web designer realized the actual problem. He was like, no, now I see where the problem is. Don't contact them, I'll sort it out. So he managed to sort it out. So I'm sharing this because sometimes we might have friends that could have easily got angry yesterday, but I said, you know what? I've been through so much pain, and somebody comes in and they're actually judging me, not knowing actually the path. And actually, I look at the website, it looks better. I'm glad that one went down. Yeah, this one has got a video as a home page. So it looks much, much better professional. So I was like, she hasn't got a clue what I've been through. So you know what? And that's why they say sometimes you don't have to tell somebody off because you don't know what they are going through. So I was like, I've not had my website for 4 weeks, and my emails have been playing up, and that is costing me business. And I have this person and they are dumping me. They don't know what I've been through, and they don't know what is to come, the breakthrough that is to come. So I was like, you know what, God, let me just forgive and just move on with my life. So I said to her, for those reasons, I will ask the web designer to remove you on the website, because when you put somebody on the website, you don't get paid. I don't get even 20% of it. So I was like, I will just ask the web designer to actually, when my clients pays the big money for coaching, that's when I have to share and pay a coach to say, can you do the work, please? So I was like, I just have to focus on the good people, because I know there are good coaches out there. So I was like, I'll find a good coach that can actually take over what she's meant to do, because I do need a business coach. Business coach, it means my clients, if they need somebody, or they're lazy, they don't want to go and say, no, so you have a business coach, can I borrow your business coach? Then they can borrow mine. So I think I'm going to ask Daisy or Grant to have their bio on my website, and that will be sorted out. So that's why you have to pick and choose your friends, and because they will lead your path. So it is very, very important. And also, the most thing that is important to come out that you were talking about is asking yourself questions. Questions are very, very powerful, really, really powerful. When you ask yourself questions, sometimes you get answers that are uncomfortable. And when you get those answers that makes you uncomfortable, it means you have to make changes in your life. And when you do make changes in your life, so that means you'll be able to move forward with your life. So it's important what Kamal said, that ask yourself questions. And what else did Kamal say? Fear, but do it anyway. I used to fear before, so I don't fear anything anymore, because you know what, you know life, when life it throws you with problems. I was telling the web designer the other day, I was like, things have gone wrong anyway. What else can it get worse? So that's my attitude, that, okay, bring it on. Whatever you want to bring, you just bring it on, because I don't know the unknown. I don't know what tomorrow brings. So for me, if somebody comes in, I was traveling the other day in the morning, and this guy says, can I just sit down there? My family think I'm bonkers, but I'm not. So he says, sit down there. He's talking. So we started talking. We started chatting what he does. It turns out that he's a YouTuber as well. So, and then the ticket guy comes in. I was going to a long journey, very expensive journey. The guy comes in, we're really chatting. The woman comes in, he goes, pay for the tickets. And the guy goes, it's on me anyway. Just put it on the lady. So put it on my card. She's just a lovely person. Just talks. I just talked to her like I've known her for a long time. And he was like, in return, he goes, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel in return? And I was like, okay, cool. I subscribe to somebody's channel. And he was like, yeah, that's what you do for nice people. He was like, you're nice. I was just talking to you. You did not judge me. You just went on the conversation, because like we were talking about France and talking about YouTube. So it turns out we have something in common. So those are the things that sometimes you don't have to worry. When you meet people, you don't have to worry about letting them go, because there's a season. There's a reason why that person is there in your life. And when the time is up, then they'll have to go, or there'll be signs that this person actually, they're not meant to be with you. And then you have to move on. Imagine Kamau is a life purpose coach. He knows the step by step that you have to take in order for you to get there. And imagine that. What happens, Kamal, if somebody, okay, they have a life purpose, they need to find their life purpose, but there's a blockage, like your friends, they stop you.
Okay, so one first thing, you don't find your life purpose, because they're not a pair of keys that you're lost.
You can find them inside the cupboard.
You just need to open up your heart, and they're right there, right? So we uncover your purpose, and I talk about that a lot. So that's the first thing, you uncover your purpose, because your purpose has been there and has always been there for forever. Now, coming to your question, if people have blockages because of their friends, look, you come to me and you tell me, I can't do this. I'll tell you, okay, fine, then I'm not working with you. It's very simple. I'm very confrontational, and If I don't like what you're saying, if it's BS, I'll tell you it's BS to your face. In a very polite and nice way, by the way. Very smiley as well. I'll tell you, this is bullshit. So here's the thing. When somebody comes to me and they are going through the process of life purpose, we're going through these sessions, right? And they realize that, you know what, I do want to do this, but my friends are stopping me. My question is this: how are your friends in control of your life? Who do you want to control your life? Your friends, society, people, or do you want to be in control? This is the whole premise of life purpose. It is my life purpose. It is my life protocol. It is my way of living. I'll use another word. It's me-selfism. It's all about me doing what I want, what I love, what I care about, what I enjoy, what I'm passionate about, what can bring me money, what I can give to the world. Your friends are blocking you, block them. Stop talking to them. Ignore them. Go away from them. Oh, I don't like my job. It's really annoying and I want to do this. Quit. But I have responsibilities. I understand and I know that you have responsibilities. You don't like something, stop it. Why do you continuously doing? So if your friends are impeding you, stopping you from achieving your goals, and you seriously want to achieve those goals, let go of them. They're not your friends. They're holding you back. There are many societies in the world that hold back people because they want to succeed. They hold them back because it's societal pressure. This is peer pressure. If you are not ready to break the chains, like Namsa said, go beyond the limitations of what you feel you're capable of, jumping into the deep end, knowing that you're still afraid, getting out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself, challenging your beliefs, challenging the beliefs that you learned and inherited from your parents, it's not going to work. You're not going to move forward. In order for you to move forward in life and to excel or understand purpose, uncover your purpose, become the person that you were meant to be, go beyond your limitations. It's already in the sentence, go beyond your limitations. What are your limitations at this stage? Your friends, your boss, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. What are your limitations? Go beyond them. How can you use these limitations to allow you to move forward? Choices, we've spoken about that. You can either be the narrator of your story and write it on your own, take the pen and write your story, or you can let other people write the story for you. And then you'll be just a secondary person in that story. The choice is yours.
Powerful. That's my favorite. I love writing my own story. I will never let anyone write my own story. It's very, very important. The audience, if you're watching, hold the pen, write your own story. Because if you let somebody else, like what Kamal is saying, it's your choice to let somebody else design your own story. I was listening to my Geo yesterday, and he was saying they are doctors. If you go to the graveyard, they are doctors who never graduated because they never knew that they could be doctors. There are people who had billionaires who never made it to become a billionaire or even to be a millionaire, because they never knew that they were destined to become that, millionaires, whatever you name it. Some people they've never made it, but they're in the graveyard. And it was like writing your own story, like what Kamal is saying. When you live your life based on what you are meant to live, what God he has for you, and grab that portion of yours, go to the universe and say, my destiny. I call myself out. Like I say, when actually things are not working, I say, Nomsa, wake up. I'm like my subconscious. I wake myself up subconsciously so that I'm at work. I wake up, and my winning spirit that wakes up, and my helpers, I call them out wherever they are. If they are sleeping, I call them out, because I got to write my own story. And I also got to go and grab my own portion out there. And friends that are not going well, I just say to God, show me anyone that is in my life for not for my own benefits. I do that sometimes. I get in trouble when people kick off. Then I forget what I've been praying, and that's why Carol Ann always reminds me and say, Nomsa, when you pray, listen to your prayer. Because when things kicks off, that means you're being shown who is not in your life for your own benefits. So listen, pray and listen to it. So now when I pray, I'm like, one of those things. Or if it's blessings, I'm like, okay, thank you, Jesus. But if it's somebody kicking off, or if it's somebody showing me they're not really in my life for what I thought they were, I'm like, okay, God, forgive me for choosing the wrong person. And people will enter your life, and you think that they enter your life for your own benefits, but they're not. And it happens. So what happens is people end up blaming themselves. That how can I be stupid? You can't blame yourself. Things are happening in this life for a good reason. So what you need to do is just keep writing your own, get another page, rewrite your own story, and let go of friends that don't save you that moment. I'm not saying let them go or go around you. There are some people, I have a friend who tell you what she thinks of you as a person. Honestly, I have a friend who tells it as it is. Like, if somebody is really mad, and they'll be like, she'll tell you, just go get a life. Really mad. And so I'm not saying do that and go and tell people off and things like that. Honestly, when people approach when it comes to relationship, there's these men that when they approach a woman is not interested at that moment. And they're like, why? What's wrong with you? Because they are used to women walking around them and things like that. They think every woman is like that. When they get rejected by my friend, this person, they get angry. But this girl, she's not really rejecting them because she thinks she's better than them or anything. She was at that moment rejecting men because she just wasn't ready for dating. That was the reason. But men, don't ask more questions, because if somebody says, no, I don't want to go out with you, you can ask. You are allowed to ask why. If you don't understand it, then that person will explain. But they've never got to that point where they ask, why don't you want to date me? And then she can explain that I am focusing on raising my son. So now her son is 15. She says, no, actually, I'm ready to date, because now if I go out on a date in the evening, he can cook for himself. I wouldn't have to worry. I can just ask friends to look after them, or just bring somebody in. I know my son will cook for himself if somebody is there. But before, she was young, so people don't understand it. So I'm like, yeah, I do understand it as a person. And she's like, yeah. And even sometimes friends, when you have a different situation, like Kamau was studying, they don't understand it, that you have to prioritize. I got put in the bench with the choir a few weeks ago because I missed 2 sessions. But the first session was my friend's birthday. And this person has stood by me with my business. Every time I need this person, he is always there for me. And I was like, this is one day that comes once a year. So I can't miss his birthday and say I'm going for choir practice. the choir practice will always be there. So I was like, I'm just gonna go celebrate his day with him and his wife. And I just went and spent the time. He had a big party. So I went, and then I went to choir, got would sit on the bench. You missed the session and could have sing. I was like, I'm cool. I was like, I had the right attitude. I was like, I missed it for the right reason, and I don't regret it, because to me, friends are more important and family are important. And if you good friends don't come very often. And for me, the friends that I have, I think I have 4 or 5. And those people are the people that I have decided they are no longer friends anymore, but they are part of family. And that means I have to be there for them when they do need me. I'm there. So I was laughing when they put me to go and sit down, say I'm not going to perform because I missed practice. But inside, I was so happy that it was for the right reasons. And they didn't know that I was so happy that I've missed, or even that I missed a big performance. It was performance with the United States and other choirs from the United States. But I was fine with that, because I know that God wants me to actually be there for people if they need me, because my friend needed me. And this is the person, like, if I get stuck, it's either with my assignment or with my business, you'll be like, you fit me in. Say, Nomsa, I'm free at this time. Come. If you don't come, I won't help you. So he's always there for me. So, Kamal, last questions, because we have to go now. How do you build authentic connections? With friends, of course.
With friends.
Yeah.
I don't think I would find a more eloquent way to express or to answer your question than using the words of Shakespeare.
Okay.
And he said, a friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And Kamal, is 4 minutes past 4. Would you like to actually tell the audience who you are and give them words of encouragement, or Shakespeare was the words of encouragement?
Shakespeare was the word of encouragement. I can't go beyond those words. And another thing, my name is Kamal Amer. As you can see, I'm a life purpose coach. What I do is I help people create a foundation to their life by offering them tools and, or more accurately, a 14-week interactive program that combines positive psychology, cognitive behavior psychology, and neurolinguistic programming with the aid of some ancient Egyptian methodologies and wisdom. And so the program just gives you the tools and the steps to start living a life purposefully for your benefit and find fulfillment in whatever it is that you may do or want. You can find me on my website, kamalamer.com. You can find me on Instagram. It's kamal.amer. You can find me on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Still the same name, very simple, either all together, Kamal Amer in one go, or kamal.amer. And yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you for having me today, Nomsa, and thank you for the audience. And wherever you may be, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Thank you so much, everyone. For me, my words of encouragement is seek relationship that celebrates you and that gives you with the uniqueness in it, that encourages your growth and that inspires you, a relationship that inspires you, that bring out the best version of yourself, and also find friends that embrace your authenticity and they appreciate who you are, and they also contribute a sense of belonging and acceptance in your life. And I am Nomsa Clara Mbe, your love harmonist. Unfortunately, my website is still not ready, but next week I'm sure you will be ready. And but if you want to contact me on my business page on Facebook, my phone number is there. Tungose Talk Shows page, there's the phone number, office number, and on my Hope Springs as well, there's an office number. So please do get in touch. If you are a client, you want to join, you can get in touch with me by email or phone. Then we can talk more. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.